Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the CM0102 Super League. But it's a little bit different this time around as we are presenting the first ever round of the CMSL Cup. I'm delighted to say making his first appearance on comms of the season, wrapping up a full house of all of the current managers now appearing on comms. Good evening, Hodgy.
Evening, mate. Evening, everybody. Hope you're all well.
How are you, buddy? You all right?
Yeah, great, mate. Fantastic. By yourself?
Yeah, very, very well. Thank you very much for asking. Good weekend?
Yeah, great, mate. Yeah, busy.
Good.
Always busy these days.
Always busy. Well, you'd rather be busy than quiet, is the saying. Unless you're too busy and then you'd rather be quiet. Never have it. Never get that balance quite right, can we? Welcome. This is your first time appearing in this format of presentation and the Super League. Before we get into the specifics of tonight, how have you found the season, the new save?
We're on a bit of a bad run at the minute, so it started well. And yeah, we've been a bit shite recently. So I think last 5 games we've only won 1. So it's not such a bad thing. We'll have a little bit of a break now away from the league and just forget about how shit we've been recently.
You still find yourself third in the table, though. You put that down to the good start you made.
Yeah, I think everybody's. I don't think there's much in it. To be fair, I think everyone's beating everybody, and we had a good start, and that's just left us up there. Cause, I mean, I think we haven't dropped lower than third in them last 5 weeks, and we've only won once.
No, that's
so
right.
Sort of shows what everybody else is doing. I think everyone's just beating each other at the minute, and it's really tightening up. We had sort of a few teams got off to a good start, and we had a big gap from 6th to 7th, and that's last few weeks. That's just sort of been closed down, and yeah, as we take this break, it's all pretty even, isn't it?
It absolutely is. And the one thing I noticed you had lost there in that bad run that you mentioned you've been having is we've been talking for the last number of weeks about your exceptional defensive record, but no longer have the fewest conceded in the league.
Yeah, I mean, last week were my own fault. I forgot to put my centre-backs back in. So we've had 2 games with our sort of 3rd and 4th choice centre-back. We've let in a couple of goals. I think we let in 5 in them 2 games. So it's not been ideal, but it's sort of a little bit of a boost for me. I know that we're gonna have better players, better defensive players back in, and sort of maybe use that as a little bit of an excuse for his last two results. But now we've been off it. It's been strange, really, because I've not done anything different, and just individual performances have just dropped off a bit. So we know it's in there somewhere. We just need to find it again, and I hope we'll be all right.
Well, as I said in the intro, we are entering a small period away from the league now, where we're doing the CMSL Cup group stages. As we mentioned at the start of the season, when the draw was made a couple of weeks ago, the teams that were then in the bottom two, Astor and Dragons, were given by straight to the quarterfinals, and the groups were drawn out by the Australian national team coach, Mr. Savage. He put you in Group A alongside Triple P and Gazelles. With only the top team guaranteed to go through, how confident are you doing so, and how seriously are you planning on taking the competition?
Yeah, I'm not taking it seriously at all, to be honest, mate. I'll be just playing reserve players, seeing if any of them are any good, and yeah, I'm not too fussed on results really. It's just if we could go through this cup process and we find one player that can step up and sort of contribute towards the 24, then it's been a success. I'm not sort of really interested in how far we can get. You know, I'll leave that to Steve Wright and his conspicuous CMCV. Be another one to stick on there, won't it, with Alf's World Cup and you know,
and the Continental Cup
and the
that I won last year.
Yeah, and his Continental Cup, but you know, each to their own, and you know, some guys as well who might be further down will be thinking, well, we probably might not make the six, so we can try and win this. I can see that, but for me, I've just one or two areas I'm not really happy with, and we'll try something different tonight and see if it'll give us anything to work with when we get back to the league.
Well, no, absolutely. And different managers have different outlooks on it, as we'll see from the team selections. Some have gone full reserve, some have gone quite strong with their first teams, a lot of mixing up of tactics, etc. Just for anyone who's not really noticed how this is going to work, there are 4 groups with 3 teams. As we said, top team goes through. That was designed that way to have the least amount of fixtures added as possible. And then the best 2 second places will also go through. The group stages are date-wise on the game, played between Christmas and New Year, with then the next round of fixtures to be slotted in somewhere in and around the Continental Cup as well. But let's get straight on with the action. We will stick to normal rules in terms of ghost games permitting. You'll go last, Hodgy. I know Steve is asked to go quite late as well. So would you like to start with the Group B game between Coast and Badgers, or the Group C game between Fulchester and Vikings?
Oh, it has to be Coast and Badgers, Group B.
Coast and Badgers it is.
Yeah.
So Coast, obviously Dimble's side, one of the managers who has kept charge of it. A few managers have handed the reins over, but he has got a mixed squad. The rules that we set out, you could name the full quantity of 9 subs. Those managers who didn't, I filled your subs bench for you. But there will be the standard halftime and full-time breaks, and only 3 subs will be allowed unless there's a rogue injury after the 60-minute mark, and we'll sort that out then. Dimble has kept with his usual tactic, but he's trying out a large array of new players. Santa Cruz has had a fair few first-team opportunities, but he's getting to lead the line. 1 goal, 3 assists in his 5 starts and 1 sub-appearance. But the rest of the team largely made up of reserve players, with the exception of Andre Weir, who's come in on loan from Dragons, making his debut.
Yeah, Dimble's going sort of similar to how he goes in league. So I guess is he looking at sort of seeing if 1 or 2 can step up and how they fit into his usual setup, and see how they go with that. Santa Cruz is all right. Never really seen him do too much, but he's one of those guys. I think if you get him, you always think like, you know, I'll be the one that can get something out of him. Arasimovic, not somebody I've ever used, but quite highly regarded. Did a little bit at Bostock, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. Yeah, he don't look any good, but we've seen it. Don't really matter that, does it?
No, no.
That's doesn't matter too much.
Dimble commenting now, just flashed up on the screen. Same exercise as Hodgy for me. Step forward if you're any good, boys.
Yeah, well, Dimble's a proper manager, isn't he?
The one player we will be looking for something out of is Nakata. He is waiting patiently to be able to call him up to the first team after Lonegate. So this is a good chance for him to prove his worth to Dimble's 24. Let's move on to their opponents this evening, the Badgers, who have been handed over to assistant manager Big Kid, and he has run the changes. A very Tato-esque formation, but it's one at the back. William Viali, who did so well last year at Churchtown, when RIP Churchtown, when they were a club, he was a massive player for Dimble, but they've got one at the back. They've got this sort of imbalance here that Tato has been known to play in the past before. And I believe, just looking through the side, with the exception of Esteban, who is the sub-goalkeeper generally, and Kesman, who's had the odd opportunity, again, it's largely reserves.
Yeah, I can see why they're doing it. Sergio Conceição, he'd be a player I'd be quite interested in. See what he can do. You know, an out winger. He's sort of come more into fashion in the last few years. Yep. I think maybe sort of 2-3 years ago, he'd be a guy who sort of struggled to fit into his side, but he's perfect for what a lot of teams are playing now. It's just whether he's good enough. Yeah, this is, to be honest, I'm surprised Tato has let somebody else have a go.
Okay.
I thought this. Well, because he just loves fun, doesn't he? As long as it's fun, and I thought this is something. You know,
this is something you really think you engage with.
Yeah, to be honest, if somebody said to me, right, who do you think's behind all this fucking CM Cup nonsense? I'd have been said, Tato, Duggan, and Fyfie. They're all over this, aren't they? So I'm surprised he's not took on the reins himself. But you know, maybe he is fancying that 6 and he's just having a bit of time away and see if anyone else can bring any ideas that he can use in his push in the second half of the season.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing if any players will make a claim, especially given the significance of playing in these cups and the auction next year, as well as obviously the Wizard of Oz challenge for Mr. Savage. He may look at some of these players and think, he could do a job for me, and then all of a sudden 1 or 2 clubs are calling up the players for the first team and they're not available. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. So first game in the CMSL Cup comes live from Group B. East Coast hosting Boostown Badgers. A score prediction, please, Hodgy?
I haven't got a clue.
It could be absolutely anything.
Yeah, it could go either way. Could it be? I'll go with the home side. So I'll go with the home side 3-1.
Home side 3-1.
Yeah, but with no conviction whatsoever.
Well, these games are being played on Boxing Day, when historically test match cricket is usually played. I wonder if the attendances will be affected, but that opens the scoring for the away side. 69mega.com girls. The Tinder girls have joined the chat. It's 2-0 to the Badgers. I'm sure they are absolutely delighted to have joined at this point. Smuts predicting 0-0. We've reached half time. Hodgy, it was nice of you to bring your fangirls with you.
Yeah. Obviously, word's got about on Twitter that I'm going to be on tonight, and they've turned up in their droves, which they have done here. If you look at that, 48,000 to come and watch a cup game when they should be all with their families on Boxing Day, enjoying the festivities, not watching not watching a glorified friendly, but there we have it.
Events on the field. Badgers have had the most opportunities and go in 2-0 up at the break.
Yeah, Dimble, I don't think he'd been too disappointed. He's created a couple of chances. They've both been on target. If you look at that, tackles 150-50, headers 150-50, passes, there's nothing in it. Just the scoreline really is the only thing that seems to be different there. 2-0 looks pretty decent for Badgers there.
Rock's asking, do the winners of the Cup play the winners of the league in the Community Shield? That would really be a decision for the next chairman, I suppose. That's up to them. Tato,
Well, are you really not doing it next year then? Is that definitely it?
That is the plan.
And are you fancying managing again, or are you just done with it and you're gonna ride off in the sunset, leaving us with a cup competition and a wheel of fate and a fuming Maka with his fucking shit squad that's fifth in the league or whatever?
I don't think my future has been decided yet in terms of whether I would be offered a club or whether people have had enough of me now. I managed for 8 years, chairman now for 5 seasons, whatever it is.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter, does it? Everybody's had enough of Greaser, and he's still fucking here.
I'm not just going to say that I'll disappear, but if there's no option available for me to stay, then yes, this could be my last hurrah of having anything to do with the Super League. Let's get back to events on the field, though. It's not time to question my future. It's all about the future of the Super League and the CMSL Cup. Did someone mention Tinder, asked Ian. Badgers 2-0 up. Ratings slightly better than the home side, but I've noticed in terms of touch of the ball, that both sides it's just lacking really.
Yeah, maybe it's a game a little low on quality, but that's probably what you're going to get. Teams playing sort of unfamiliar formations, which Badgers are doing tonight, and then playing a sort of unfamiliar personnel, which both sides are doing. Might take a little bit of time for some sides to click, but if somebody lands on something, they could do really well, because I think there'll be a few inconsistent performances. I don't think you can look at the league table and take anything from that into this unless somebody's going full strength, and then you sort of say, yeah, you fancy them.
Just in relation to the last 2 comments I've flashed up on the screen there, if the choices are smuts or nothing, after the absolute shit show that was the small horse tonight, I can assure you I would definitely be staying on for another year than leaving you with that, because that's an absolute crock of shit. Dimble has made his changes. Tresky coming on for Krosa. Galetti for Harasimovic. And swap with Santa Cruz, saving a third sub for the 60-minute mark. Tato, play all of mine as is all game, please. Okay, no problem at all. We will pause it on 60 minutes for you, Dimble. Let's see if those substitutions can get you back in the game. No subs unless an injury. And on the hour, Christian Warnes pulls one back for East Coast. Big moment, half an hour to play. From what you saw in the second half there, Hodgy, can you see them getting a second and get themselves back in the tie in the group?
Yeah, I won't rule it out. I won't rule it out at all. One at the back, getting a little bit tired, maybe as tired legs, a bit short back. Yeah, I won't rule it out.
A couple of players' fitness there dropping below the 80% mark. I've also noticed keeper still rating a 5. Santa Cruz rating a 6. Warnes, despite his goal, rating a 5. Perhaps something needs to change here.
I don't know. I think he might just stick with it really and just see these guys. I think he's probably, like you say, wants to see them at what they can do and if they can make an impact, and sort of giving him an hour and then pulling him off. unless, like I say, I don't know how serious Dimble is, sort of trying to get that top spot as well. He might be now thinking, coming back into the game, try and push for a winner. Well, an equaliser and then a winner, but.
Well, he's made a tactical alteration to try and be a bit more attacking with Panardi coming on and then going a flat 4 across the midfield and Oya there on his own in holding midfield. So he's going for it.
Yeah, I like Oya. He's all right. He was decent. I had him at Devils. Did you have him? Did you leave me him? Was he there?
Yes, I think I did, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all right.
Tato, again, no subs unless there's an injury. So we carry on. See if Coast can call this back and get a draw. They're certainly putting the pressure on the away side. Badgers just need a bit of possession here to calm things down. And there is the goal. And that surely wraps up this game for the away team.
He's only young and all, isn't he, Rudy Haddad?
It's 3-2.
He's like 16.
Oh, look at it. He is. He's already had more of an impact on the CMSL Cup than he has in all the reserve fixtures.
Big stage, innit? That's why.
Big stage. The manager's watching now. Kesman. Oh, big opportunity. Kesman again. Beats the keeper and it's 4-2.
Is this what group I'm in?
No.
No.
You're Group A. This is Group B. There's one game in every group each night.
How many nights is he doing it for?
3.
Sunday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is the full-time whistle. The first ever CMSL game ends East Coast 2, Boostown Badgers 4. Wow, look how many opportunities Coast created in the end. I can't imagine the goalkeeper getting a call up anytime soon.
No, they've had 11 shots on target in that second half, of course. So something's working. Again, I mean, I'm not here for results, and I'd look at that and maybe take encouragement from that. They've created plenty. There might be 1 or 2 creative players in there who they can maybe look at playing a little bit more. Obviously, I think his centre forwards is pretty fixed, sort of with an Elka and Henry anyway. So I don't think he'd be too worried. Maybe that Santa Cruz hadn't done out tonight, or we hadn't scored from the. We hadn't had many of them chances, though, to be fair.
So, given that you've just very expertly clarified the schedule for the CMSL Cup, Ian's put so no league action for 3 weeks. No, it's essentially 1 week, Ian. We're doing tonight, Thursday, and Sunday is the CMSL Cup, and then a week on Thursday the league returns.
Yeah, Campbell don't read his emails.
He doesn't read his emails. I did see that. Was it Greavesy? He came straight out and said, "Do you not read anything?"
He said that. He said anything I get from Fyfie, fuck that. I'm not reading that shit. Just fucking hell. So I have a bit of respect for the league. Just fuck that. I'm champion. Fucking reading the fucking emails. And then here we are now. Here we are. He's asking questions because he's not read his fucking emails. Not on.
He apologises. And there's Mike, look. That's the Super League Cup for you. 3 shows, Campbell. So a good opening to the CMSL Cup and a very good start for Badgers who, with that win, have put themselves in a very nice position to qualify from the group. Next, we want to skip that. So we want to go to Group C, which will be Fulchester, and they host the Vikings. Maka, I don't necessarily think, like yourself, he's another one who's not overly enthused about the results and maybe just be looking for a couple of performances, but it's not exactly a weak squad he's put out. Ashley Cole's not seen any first-team action. Alguera's just been signed and comes in. Andre has had plenty of Super League exposure before. And Shane Tolley gets his starting spot after being a major coup in the initial draw.
Yeah, I know he's been waiting for this moment as Mac. Been delighted, just waiting and waiting to unleash Shenchenko, as he calls him. So we expect him to be performance. I think Ashley Cole's a good player. I just don't think he fits into his setup, does he?
No,
He's a
because
left
he
back.
plays with
He's
a
not a left
natural winger.
midfielder.
Yeah,
Yeah, be interesting to see. I mean, we've seen sort of like players like Giggs. You can get performances out of them as a wing back when they're a winger. So be interesting to see how Cole does sort of pushed up sort of one or two positions from his more natural position.
definitely. Duggins asked what was the crack in relation to me and Rocks both ripping into Smuts there. So he offered to do a double helping of the Small Horse Invitational Trophy tonight and had to play the first round of fixtures 6 times after getting to the last game, his computer crashing, and then trying to mimic the results for fairness and failing miserably every single time. It was an absolute farce, and it was frustrating, but also fucking hilarious to watch. And the noises coming from the man presenting his own tournament, a lot of people would pay the pay-per-view money for. There was a lot of sighing and grunting going on. It was fucking hilarious. Absolute shit show, as the name suggests. Anyway, back to the elite CM content on the internet. Let's have a look at the Vikings side. Maka, it's worth mentioning as well, Maka did submit this team himself. Unlike Jens, who very generously offered it over to the man that sorted his transfers for him, essentially, affectionately known as Radio Bibbins these days. And, well, as you can see, he is taking the opportunity to not only look at some players, but go fucking wild with arrows.
Yeah, you can't trust a man who gives himself a nickname either, can you? Anybody who gives themselves a nickname like that, you're not trusting him for that. And this is just further proof of why you wouldn't trust him. It's mad. It's mental. I hope it works. Be interesting to see. Just give Jens that headache of, oh yeah, do I play that fucking mad formation that worked so well as we became the inaugural winners of the CMSL Cup.
So the thing that caught my eye when I was putting this together, because I did try to predict who would play what reserves and how they would shape up and stuff, is that Rockenbach is playing in attacking midfield.
Yeah, well, he's a database man, and he knows what he's doing with stuff like that. I don't think it's not like when Steve has 15 Magnus and puts Veron at DMC. I think this is a bit more calculated. There's obviously something he's seen in there with Rockenbach, maybe some through balls or something like that he's putting through that he fancies. So yeah, I think there's madness method behind the madness.
One man that is of interest to myself, to Dan, to Jens, and to Mike is Mido. Ever so close to being called up, we understand. Good ratings for the Australia side in his 2 caps since Mike took over. Scoring goals for fun in the reserves as well. Is the young 18-year-old going to prove himself in the CMSL Cup and finally get called up to the Vikings first team squad? So you said it could be absolutely anything in the first game. This could be absolutely anything as well.
Yeah, this is going to be 2-0 Fulchester.
2-0 Fulchester. And we do get to see the very nice Vikings away colours again in this game. Let's see if you are right with the home prediction. Early yellow card handed out and another one. Here comes the away side. Set piece, but it's cleared. And there's Guigu, a man that me and you know very well, opening the scoring for the away side.
I think you played him and had Oyer in the reserves. I think I brought Oyer in and sent him down.
I think you did as well.
Yeah, I think
makes
that's
it 2 now. Maka, is it logical to smash a device for a friendly? Well, we've got a red card here for the Vikings just before halftime, but they are 2-0 up. And Maka's now just sending laughing comments in on himself. Where do you think, I mean, in a normal tactic, we could kind of guess what managers are going to do, but given this isn't Jens and this isn't a normal tactic, what happens here?
I just go as is.
Just none at the back.
Yeah, let's just play it out 2-0 up. Yeah, just fucking see what happens.
Mike's saying play on, go on, no centre back as well. Can I see conditions, please? Of course. There you go.
We can't be looking at conditions in friendly, Steve. No, I'm not having that. Not having that. I'm not having slowing it down either. I noticed you sneaked that in, didn't you? Without me realising. Slowed it down. It should be like, like when they do that snooker, they do like snooker, don't they? It's like Crucible and that, all proper rules. And then they do like that fun shootout. It's on ITV3, and it's like a few different rules and that. Just to do that in this, few different rules. So we're not slowing it down. We're not doing that.
Yeah, but this could be Rodeo's last opportunity in the Super League to do anything.
Not bothered. Not bothered.
Come on, Dan. You are given that it's half time in 2 minutes anyway. It's Curtis on for Guigu. Poor bloke scored and he's being dragged off. Mashenko back at the
Maybe they've seen enough and think, yeah, he's good. Let's get him off. We don't want him getting injured.
With the run and central line like that. Okay. Maka, do you want to wait till half time or do you want to change anything? If you could just confirm, please, with it being a red card. Again, half time.
Probably scrap this as well for Cup. I won't bother with that. Letting Maka change. No need.
You just want the games done and out of the way. I've definitely got to get you back on for a league now where you're a bit more enthused by what's going on.
No, I'm only messing about. I've been on about this all day. The fucking kids are like, well, you shut up about that bloody cup.
Rob and Hodgy both adding same speed to proceedings this week. Is Hodgy also going to unveil a thoroughly culturally sensitive alter ego for the last game? He's not saying no, guys.
I think my screen's froze.
What do you mean your screen's froze? Your audio and visual is coming through fine.
Yeah, just on my phone. Me and you we've not moved. We're still.
Oh no! That's
my ticker stopped. My ticker stopped.
Well, while you try and sort that out, you might need to drop out and come back in, and I'll invite you back in to get it to reload because that's not happened to anybody yet, which is a little bit worrying. While Hodgy tries to sort his tech out, no halftime subs. You are allowed, Rocks. We're only messing. And I said Rocks. It's not even Rocks. Fucking hell, it's down. Fulchester have created more, but Vikings. just see the reaction there. Fulchester have created more, but Vikings have been lethal with their opportunities. 2 attempts. Away sides to champ everyone tonight. Fyfie's ticker has stopped. Call 999. Let's have how's that, Hodgy? Are you back? Is it all working?
Yeah, it seems like. To be honest with you, as I knocked it off, it all seemed to start working again. But I'd knocked it off then.
We're just looking at the stats. Fulchester are actually creating more, but Vikings 2 attempts, 2 on target, 2 goals. Andre there getting a 5, which is unlike him. Again, though, look at the midfield: Selakovic, Masera, Davis. Not even into double figures for touches of the ball. Rodeo going as is, but we'll be making 2 subs at 60 minutes. I wonder what Maka will do. Is he going to try and get back into this? Or is he happy to just concede the tie and move on to his second game? The other team in this group, obviously, are Haggis, who are yet to feature in Group C. Just seeing what's going on. Also, thanks to everyone who is watching along live, because I know tonight is the return of I'm a Celebrity, and most people would be watching that, but you've decided that the CMSL Cup much more important. Maka's saying roll till 60 as well, so we will carry on and see if Fulchester get back into it. They just have one just off the post and then wide. 55 on the clock. And there's the goal by Nicola Ventila, former Devils man as well, Hodgy.
Yeah, he did all right. Didn't play too much, but when he did, he scored a few goals.
So this is a man who you don't think is taking it seriously, but then as soon as kickoff comes, it's a lot more serious. As he says, he can't make up his mind.
He just hates losing, doesn't he, though, Mac?
He just hates losing, yeah.
Yeah.
He may not be a fan of the competition, but the fact that his name is associated to it.
Yeah, he's never going to want to not compete. He's always going to want to win. So he'll be fuming even if he loses this, and he probably don't care about it too much. But he just don't like losing.
Steve clearly not a fan of Anton Deck. Double change it is for Fulchester. Rakoba and Parla coming on for Davis and Tolley. Why would anyone want to lose? Ian Edwards. I forgot about the celebrity night, lads. Let's see what Dan has in store for the Vikings. Every player that started rating a 7. John Curtis, the substitute, rating 6. No real conditional worries. Obviously, the good thing for people about these all being arranged as friendlies is the red cards don't really matter because they'll still be available for the next game.
Even in friendlies, yeah. They'll get suspensions.
No, you don't officially get a suspension, and I'm not going to remember every player that gets sent off. So go wild and just keep playing the same players.
If we're being honest, Steve, it probably devalues it even further, doesn't it?
What? Them not being suspended?
Well, yeah, it's like, you just get him sent off. You can play the next round. You don't.
All right. Well, now you've said that, Hodgy, I'm going to put the extra work in and remember every player that's been sent off and tell them they're not allowed to play.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair now. We're back up now. We're cooking on gas now.
So Marvin Andrews will not be allowed to feature in game number 2 against Haggis.
Yep.
Just waiting. Dan did say that he's got a teething baby at home, so he would type as quickly as possible. Here we go. So we've got Gaya coming on for Rockenbach and Lamucci for Romashenko. Switching GX with Lamucci. There we go. Back to it. Oh, are we going to see another team force back? Or will the away side again press on to win the game? Another yellow, this time for Placente. And Vasilyuk with a great opportunity. Still more from the away side. Andre can't get over it, but Petkov manages to clear. Nikolai. Yellow card, free kick to the home side. Petkov to take. Ventila. But the Viking skipper for this game manages to get in the way. But Mido picks it up now. Great opportunity. Good save. Vasilyuk is a fave of mine, says Maka. Selakovic and Cole switching the ball between themselves. Rakoba. Good save. Selakovic is straight offside anyway. Wayne Dade in charge of this one. It's Mido, Kaka. Oh, good save by Andre, and then Petkov gets in the way and move into injury time. One last chance maybe for the home side to grab a draw. Good save. Oh, he's in! Nicola Ventila has levelled things up in injury time. And
it felt like there was a goal coming, didn't it? It felt like it wasn't going to finish 2-1 there.
No, and has Ventila played his way? We know that what Macca's history with strikers is like. Has the former Devils man played his way into his manager's thoughts? Very even.
He's all right.
He is.
Yeah. I think he could get a shot if he continues to do well. Like I say, he's all right. He's not a fashionable player.
Andre's gone from having a 5 at half time to a 9 and man of the match.
Yeah, well, they must have had a fair few shots then. That second half, Vikings, he's done something that they're impressed with. Yeah, look, he looks decent, doesn't
Yeah, statistically, he's not bad at all. He's got 3 in 2 starts for the reserves. He's now got 2 in 1 start in the cup as well. If he's not getting in the full Chester side, then maybe 1 or 2 teams may look at him as a potential loan signing if they're looking for a striker.
he? Yeah. He's sort of always. He's never going to be a main man anywhere, is he?
No,
But he
absolutely
can
not.
do a job when needed. Second
You
striker.
you also mentioned you were interested to see what Ashley Cole could do. He put in a decent performance. It wasn't going to light the world up, but he did enough.
Yes. Not. You sort of don't learn anything from the 7, do you? If it's a 6 and a 5, you think, yeah, they're not really doing out. If it's an 8, you think, yeah, he's maybe worth a look at again. And a 7, it's just a bit of like.
But our favourite Super League saying is it's a bit meh, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. Don't get me wrong. If you have league games, you're getting 7s, you're happy with them. But I mean, when you sort of wanting to see if a player's good enough, a 7 don't really tell you anything, does it?
No, absolutely not. Casting your eye then over the Vikings. Anything stand out for you there?
I'll be totally honest with you, it's hard for me to see it.
You still looking at it on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone, mate.
No. Is the screen too small for you?
Yeah, I've zoomed in though. I can see there. Yeah, there's a few 8s in there. Vasilo, he would probably be one who you think could be maybe closest to getting a nod in the league, and he's done all right. Got a goal, good performance. So yeah, I think there's a bit to take from that.
So as we said, from the next fixture, Haggis will enter the fray. I can't remember which way around it is. I think Vikings play Haggis first, and then Fulchester will play Haggis in game number 3 from memory. But interesting to see both sides getting a point in the first game of the group. We now move on. I've seen Steve in the comments. We move on to Group D, and it's White Rose currently 13th in the table. So we'll be looking to a few players to play themselves into form during the next couple of games, but it's going to be very difficult even at home because they're against Northern Burn. Fairly standard. They've kept the tactic, but a load of new names. All the big names rested. Levinsky did play in the last game, but he starts out right wing back. Poirier and Good Johnson centre midfield. Bergkamp and Ibrahimovic support Heskey up top. This isn't even attempting to fit players in. This is just naming players, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a few I'm quite interested to see. Yeah. Okay. Poirier, he's all right. I think he definitely first season he's good enough. Although he's not done very well. But White Rose hasn't done very well either, so
no.
His performances have sort of reflected how the team are doing. Maybe Bergkamp, be interested to see what he can do. Richard Wright, he could probably be a number 1 somewhere, I reckon.
It's been unfortunate that, like for example, he spent many years, obviously, again as we know, at Devils, but he was never getting in ahead of Frey, was he?
Yeah, you liked him a bit though, didn't you? You used to swap. You'd play him a little bit. Yeah.
Mainly because every time I had Frey, he would do really well and then throw in a load of 6s.
Yeah, you see, I've never had a bad keeper ever, and I think that's like all this. People go, and I know it's only a wind up and stuff like that, but I've sort of always done quite well with a few different teams, and I think a lot of that's down to just I've never had a shit keeper. Never. Canizares at Ardsley was wank, and then I got Landreau in, and he was great. I think that's a massive thing because you're not sort of throwing them. Yeah, keepers can throw you sort of 2-3 games a season, can't
they? Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like 9 points, big difference.
We look at Northern Burn, who are completely different. They are at the very top of the table, and we'll be looking to keep that form going into league. Mike Savage is taking control for this game. And the big talking point was Rui Costa playing in defensive midfield and people wondering whether there may be an arrow. The answer is no.
Yeah, I suppose he's sort of trying to play him as a deep lying playmaker. Is that sort of the idea that he's going to
I think so, yeah.
dictate play from deep and see how it goes with that? He's never really done out anywhere else, has he? So fair play, try him somewhere new. See if you can find a role for him.
And can I ask you your thoughts on Filippo Inzaghi? Obviously, outside of the Super League, especially in his peak, widely regarded as one of the very finest strikers at the time, but never, ever seems to get a proper run in the Super League.
Yeah, shit. Has Edwards put you up to this? Because Edwards has offered me Filippo Inzaghi so many times.
See, no, honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Feels like this is a bit of a stitch up. This is there an inside joke with me and
No,
Inzaghi?
absolutely not. I didn't
You and
know.
Edwards?
I was happy to see him finally getting a game more than anything.
Yeah, I don't like him. Shit, he's better than his brother, but I had him at Leathersford.
See, I'm a big
Didn't laugh.
Simone Inzaghi fan on this.
Yeah, shit.
Well, let's see.
Not for me.
Let's see how the penultimate game of tonight goes. Steve right there saying, would love Pippo back, was unreal for his last playoffs. Asking price never worked. There's Ian. Knew that was coming.
Honestly, Edwards talks him up that much. You just leave the messages thinking, why does he want rid of this guy?
For the final time tonight, can I ask you for a score prediction, please?
Yes, I will go. We haven't had a draw tonight, have we?
Yeah,
Go one
just that one.
apiece. Oh yeah, because he scored late on, didn't they? That's it. It's like these games you're never going to forget. CMSL Cup, innit? I'm going to go for 2-1. Then we'll go 2-1 Burn. I've gone for two. I've gone 2 homes and I've not been right yet, so I'll go for an away.
Fyfie, I have no kick takers nominated in my instructions. I know there are none selected.
It just said Ian Hart won't play, didn't it? And he obviously normally is. So what we're on about?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's kick this one off. The other team in Group D are the Pirate Celtics. So they will be in for game weeks 2 and 3. Half an hour played, still 0-0. Lots of Northern burn attacks, but I don't think they're really actually creating clear-cut opportunities. One player we didn't mention that I'm quite happy to see is Guti, to see if he can actually cut it at this level.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you want to do well.
Yeah. And I always
I'd love to see a good Guti.
I was found in real life he was underrated because he played in that Galacticos team that wasn't considered a Galactico.
He sort of played through like maybe sort of 3 different Madrid teams, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was always there, and really clever, underrated player, like you say.
Northern Burn, 1 chance created, not on target. White Rose are actually the dominant side. It didn't feel like that looking at the text.
No, like you say, it's always hard to tell in it from text. Sometimes you get a feel for a game, and then it's not like you say. I do feel that Edwards is building a very solid side, like wanting Contra back in. Is because he just wants that solid side because he knows he's got Maxim up front and he can pinch games 1-0. So again, I don't think he's going to be too worried about this because he knows he's got best centre forward in league to come back in. So he won't be worrying too much about the fact that he's not creating.
Completely agree with Duggan's assessment of Guti there, saying that he was a fucking incredible player. Absolute glue that held the superstars together. Steve Wright say, class us, you're drawing 0-0. Can't be that good. Let's have fucking hell. 6s across the board. Owen Hargreaves playing well. He's rating an 8 at half-time in that left wing-back position. Zlatan and Bergkamp not really seeing any of the ball at all. Although every time Zlatan does get it, he's shooting.
I think we've sort of, it's his own fault really as managers. I think we've sprung like too many rusty legs in, and we're sort of nobody's really getting anything going. Is there? There's passes are not really up there. They're all pretty low. Performances are pretty average. I think maybe had we sort of played 4 or 5 first teamers who've been playing regularly and integrated these reserve players in, we might have seen a few more easy on the eye games. But
now,
yeah, there's not really there.
I'm not one for giving tactical instructions away, but one thing that has stood out to me there is that the centre-back Bermudez has had 2 of the 5 shots. I'm wondering whether Steve's seen some sort of... I'm not sure whether they're from set pieces, possibly, or whether
Steve's applied some sort of... count as shots? I've heard that headers don't count as shots.
That would be a Rodeo Bibbins question, that. I'm sure he'll answer you in no time at all. I believe he's told me before that headers don't count.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a strange one, like you say.
So, Montano
is taking free kicks.
For Bergkamp. Montano for Bergkamp. Oh, Mendonca for Bermudez.
I like Montano.
The irony of Mendonca coming on, because Steve was one of the managers who didn't pick a full complement of subs. The 3 AMCs, Montana Central. Ara diagonal on Poye. I don't think they count unless they're scored, says Dan. In terms of your question, right. Steve, I think this is what you want. If you could just confirm that for me, please. Going 1 at the back. He clearly thinks Burner there for the taking.
I think he just wants to get a goal, doesn't he? I think he just... Again, it's that you can sort of go for it a little bit more because you're not as gutted if you sort of lose. I don't think anyone's going to play for a point, are they?
No, absolutely not. As for Mr. Savage, under the watchful eye of Mr. Edwards, Filippo Inzaghi's been pretty disappointing there.
It's not been very surprising, though, has it?
Unlike some of the other games, they do seem to have a good mix of ball retention at Northern Burn. They're just doing nothing with it.
Yeah, there's just a lack of creativity, though, isn't there? I mean, like say, we all want Guti to be decent, but maybe he's not going to be. Lee Chun-Soo, I've had a decent Chun-Soo, not as good as Scott, but there's been a couple of good Chun-Soos, haven't there? He's a funny one. Sort of never really seems to... He does it in little bits, doesn't he?
Yeah. Definitely has just little periods where he excels, so that everyone thinks, oh yeah, he's class, and then he just sort of disappears. So whatever the Rui Costa experiment is now a Guti experiment.
It's a free roll, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah. Dimble saying he wants to see Temudo. Come on. Do you want to see him come on?
Yeah, let's put him on. Stick him on.
Guti is now coming off for Makada, which has excited Rox very much.
He needs to get a fucking life.
That looks mince. Anything else, Mr. Savage, before we carry on with the second half? Do you think Rui Costa in that slightly more advanced position, you'll get more out of him now and maybe Burn will create a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not keen on him. Not keen on him, if I'm honest. I think he falls into that Nakata, Fiore sort of bracket where people think that they can get good players for him because they were good in real life, and that doesn't equate to anything that's any use on the game.
Lee Chun-Sung, the man you spoke about, scores the opening goal. 1-0 to the away side. They certainly looked a lot busier since half-time. We get to the hour mark. Steve has one substitute remaining. Henrik Larsson's there. Carboni's there as well. Franco, who's just been signed on loan.
I'd throw Franco on for Emileski.
And what, leave him up front, or would you move, say, Zlatan up top?
No, I'd play Franco up front, I think.
We will wait to see what Steve wants to do. Let me just flash up the condition for him there. Nobody suffering too much, no cards either. Rock's commenting on Mike Savage's tactical decisions with his substitutes. And Dan trying to stick up for him. Carboni's coming on for Heskey, and Zlatan's going up front.
Yeah, that makes sense, doesn't it? Heskey's shit. Steve's had Heskey before, hasn't he? Yeah, Dudley Earlham playing.
He was definitely at Dragons at one point. I don't remember him being at Dudley. Your memory's a lot better than mine at that sort of thing, though, so you're probably right.
To be fair, fucking Steve had everybody at Dudley, didn't he?
Steve did have the highest rotation of players imaginable.
I think at some point, every Super League player has played for Dudley.
Franco being saved for the big time, says Steve Wright. What do you make of the because this isn't the only time Mike's done this, do you think we'll see, no, regardless of tactic, no arrows deployed in the Super League at any point?
Yeah, I think some people are not massive believers in arrows and sort of play the players in the position where the arrow's pointing to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he's sort of done that. He could have played wing backs with arrows, but he's playing midfielders without. Not really, just a slightly more attacking version of sort of what I'm playing later, I think, this. I think I'm just playing with the wing backs instead of the wingers. But I'll have the arrows on, so it's pretty much of the same, really. It's a little bit more on the front foot, I suppose.
Rock saying, Ricardo Vicky at DMC is making me feel sick.
Is he not a DMC then, Madavikia?
What's the hat badge, Hodgy?
It's Woodker Valley. It's under sevens team that I coach. I thought it was similar colours to the mighty Walton Casuals, so I'd wear it today.
Well, Rock suggests it looks like United. Your face.
It looks like
not happy.
Yeah, it's not.
Would you like to do anything, Mike? You asked for the bringing Zaghi off for Tamuda. And then that is it. So it'd be a real kicking the balls for Inzaghi if Tamuda was to come on and score now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
Rose looking very busy since going a goal down, trying to get that equaliser. Carboni comes forward now. Well saved. But Poirier picks it up. Oh, it's a great double save. But there's Levinsky to level things up for the home side with, 20 minutes to go, including injury time.
Is a draw just a draw, Fyfie, or have we got penalties?
Draw's just a draw, 1 point. Tamudo does score. On 80 minutes, Northern Burn take the lead again. And Rose have to fight all over this. Poirier, Mendonca. Poirier with a strike. And Carboni. And Rusto is saving absolutely everything. But there's the goal. And it is Poirier that levels it up again, 2-2. And are we going to get a winner? Will Rose take the lead for the first time?
Deserves a winner. Game deserves a winner, doesn't it?
He's Poye Mendonca. Ibrahimovic. Poye picks it up. Ibrahimovic. Oh my God. Going into injury time now. One last chance maybe, and it's the away side coming forward. Rui Costa picks it up. Free kick to Rose though. Poye. Castrum gets in the way. And there's the final whistle. And the first match in Group D ends Rose 2, Burn 2. Both sides claiming a point to keep very much in the hunt for qualification. Look how many opportunities White Rose have had there.
Yeah, 3 AMCs and creating plenty. Don't always see that, dear. So
It's like a throwback to Devils of old.
yeah, good performance, good game. I think scoreline's not massively important. I think if you don't look at the scoreline, you say it's the you've created. You've gone to Burn with sort of like your second string, and you've created all that. So yes, that's something. So there's a take from that.
Dimble mentioned before kickoff, he was interested to see how Fernando did. Fernando's been in the Rose first team all season until the last game where they made I think it was a loan signing and he got dropped to the reserves. But he has got man of the match tonight with a 9 out of 10 rating.
Yeah, I don't. He's not somebody I really know. I'm not too sure on him. So obviously, if Dimble wanted, we're interested to see how he's done. He's gone and got man of the match. So obviously, maybe player in there.
May well be. Alan Archibald just enjoying getting on the substitutes bench for White Rose. Northern Burn, what's Mr. Savage going to learn here? Well, Cesar didn't enjoy himself tonight at all. What have we got here? Rui Costa's rating, 6, very disappointing. Mikhail Vidkia being played out of position, disappointing. Steve saying that's the best Archibald could hope for. Realistically, Burn have kind of escaped there with a draw, haven't they?
Yeah, Rustu's had a good game, hasn't he? Made plenty of saves. Sort of maybe been the difference there to get him a point.
But definitely, we saw Poye's name a lot. I think Rose perhaps learned a lot more there than Burn, especially in that second half, because they looked to utterly dominate. Rock saying, one of the best right wingers in the game playing DMC against 3 AMCs. Can't wait for someone to pick him off because he hasn't played. Well, now he has played, so you're not going to get him picked off. But that brings us neatly to the final game of tonight. We've stretched those 3 games out for an hour. Now we could see how seriously you're taking it. And I had to send my apologies to you because you were the only person who on their video, apparently I hadn't clicked include reserves. So you weren't given any of the information that everyone else had. So did very well to pick a side. But you've gone for it with 3 up top and no one in central midfield, away from your usual tactic.
Yeah, I thought I would play 3 AMCs earlier when I ran about that. But yeah, no, it was 3 up top, wasn't it? Yeah, obviously, the team that I posted out had Nagore and Melberg playing.
They're both injured.
Yeah, a few hours before kick-off, I found that out. So
yeah, that's 100%
it's not underhand. Yeah, it's not underhand. So I'm not trying to gain advantage to get a cheap victory in the cup.
Stuart Parnaby with his 20 finishing.
Stuart Parnaby's he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. I've got good DMCs. If I didn't have such good DMCs, he'd probably be in my 24. He's a great player. Edinburgh is probably in the top 7 centre halves in the league. I'd probably say he's number 7. Absolute class, especially the first 2 seasons. Yeah, because I've got 3 of my centre halves are better than him. They're like top
so
1, 2, and 4.
Top 7 centre backs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Berg's brilliant. People who've probably never had him will think, he's shit and he's old and that. But do a Blackburn serve, stick with Edinburgh, and he's brilliant for 2 years. I reckon you get 2-3 years out of him. He's class. Jamie Victory, big experiment here. Is he good enough? I ain't got a clue. He doesn't look it, does he? But there's plenty of 20s. Good at balancing. So I think that's be interesting to see how he does. Johnson, can he play up front? Not got a clue. Probably. If he's going to ever play up front, it will be in a 3. So we'll play him in a 3. Look, Steve knows, look, Berg's class. And yeah, I think that's Guillem Ricard. People want to see Ricard, so
Oh, was it
he's
Rox
getting a
who's
run
been
out
asking
tonight.
for Ricard to be freed?
Yeah, and Jens is a fan of Ricard, so he gets a shot tonight. Like I say, I'm not taking it seriously because I'm not, but I'm serious about wanting to see how these guys can do. There's genuinely some players
Like you
who
said,
could step up.
if say for example, say Ricard, who is in your first team squad but doesn't get a game at the moment, and say Henny Berg, who you spoke about there, say they both step up in your 2 group games, that might just alter your thought process for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Berg's got a tough ask because I've got Plumpe and Chiram, and they've both been playing well. So that is a tough ask. But yeah, definitely Ricard. If he could sort of come here and score 3 or 4 goals in these group games, it'd be definitely be asking questions.
You're up against Gazelles tonight, who keep the same formation they had last time out, but do mix the players up, a mixture of first team and I think Dan mentioned in a tweet, it's a mix of first team players and some players who just need games. So
Yeah, Dan's going for it.
Yeah,
He's
he
going
is.
for it. I think this is the most sort of serious looking side we've seen. Mendieta, Kivu, Ilianu, Nedved, Rivaldo, Pizarro. Yeah, should be doing his ear. So it'll be interesting to see how we stand up to this because we're not playing a lot of stiffs, are we?
No, absolutely not. For my own personal benefit, Christian Diaz back in the Super League again gets a run out as well tonight. The Mallorca man for people who start saves properly. And Gareth Barry eventually gets a place on the substitutes bench. Will he ever actually feature in the Super League? As is customary, I won't ask you for a score prediction. I will just wish you and Dan the very best of luck as we kick off the final game of tonight in Group A, Casuals against Gazelles, the other team in this group, Triple P, who will enter from game number 2.
Oh well, we won't finish bottom then. that's all right.
Surely, I mean, I know you said you're not taking it seriously, and maybe Gazelles are taking it a bit more seriously, but going into it, you would be favourites to win this group.
Yeah, I would imagine so. We'll be favourites. It always seems to be favourites to win everything. So it's not me saying that.
That's what comes from being the GOAT, isn't it, Hodgy?
Yeah.
It's a strange one. I mean, not that I dispel the rumor or the myth or whatever you want to call it, but I do find it funny that the GOAT term is thrown around to, with all due respect intended, someone who hasn't actually won it.
I have won it, Anna, let's be honest. For being honest, right, that fucking Devils season, right, basically won it. I wiped floor with everybody every week for fucking 26 games, 13 weeks. It was records left, right, and fucking centre. Basically,
but bottled it on the big occasion.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say that if I would have won it, would that season have been any better? Probably not, would it?
Nedved gives the away side the lead on 38 minutes.
Oh, fuck, I forgot it was me playing as well, innit? I've seen that going.
What's this on? It's 2-0. Casuals are in all sorts of trouble. Half time, and you find yourself 2-0 down to a Gazelle squad. Like you said, perhaps taking it a little bit more seriously than yourselves, but knowing you said that Macca doesn't like to lose, and as much as you're not that fussed about the cup, you won't be happy seeing this.
No, you don't know.
Especially seeing that. Wow.
Shit cup. You know
You
what?
can't blame the cup
It
for
is
your fucking
shit.
for your inability to take it seriously. Well done, Gazelles. This is what happens when you take it seriously.
Yeah, but you know what? Gazelles are playing tonight as strong, for me personally, as good a side as I've seen them play
All season.
all season. Yeah, yeah. I really like the look of it.
Actually, I've
Um,
flashed yours up there, but I should really let Dan have a look first as he hasn't got the live feed that you've got. Nedved and Mendieta absolutely pulling strings here.
you can't believe it, can you? Against fucking
Stuart Barnaby.
Stuart Parnaby and fucking who else is? I don't know. Will Aim. Shit.
But you picked the team.
Yeah, 'cause I don't want to win the group. I don't want to go through. I'm
How's
happy to get. I'm gonna get Amadia tonight, right? And
Yeah,
then I'll go and smash Rob, and then
that's
Dan will
really
smash
second.
Rob, and then I'll finish second. It's like yeah, happy days. And we've seen a few players. They've had a run about. Rob's finished last. Dan's took it seriously, so deserves to get through, and then we get back to the playoff hunt and the. This is a bit like where you just like include like what Rob was saying the other day about like everyone gets a badge. It's just like let's let shit teams try and win some. Oh, except Dan. Let's just give Dan the trophy now. Should we have that now? Right? End of this game, Dan. Well done. You're the champion. You've took it the most serious. Let's get back down to some proper
But there's
league
four teams that
football.
haven't even featured yet.
Yeah, but they're not fucking bothered. They're not bothered. Probably Alf. I bet Alf would be bothered if he had a clue what was going on. I guarantee you that he ain't got a clue what's going on right now.
Well, to be
With this
fair,
top Alf.
he's obviously got to buy straight to the quarterfinal as Alf.
Well, yeah. In fact, now let's carry it on because I'd like to see Alf win it. So yeah, let's carry it on. I'm taking that. That's coming back off you now, Dan. You're not the champion. We're all going to get behind Alf.
Hodgy, are you making any changes at half time?
Yeah, yeah. Johan Elmander's coming off
Yeah.
for Simon Davies.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you could switch Davies and Zepeda.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll bring Johnson off for Venegorov Hesselink, please.
Johnson off for Venegar of Hesseling, yeah?
Yeah. I tell you what. No, I'll leave it in case so happens. Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay. Let's resume the action. See if casuals can play their way back into this with the free up top formation. Created absolutely nothing in the first half, but look a little bit busier so far in the second half. Oh, into the side netting though. And we pause it on an hour. You're still 2-0 down, but looking a little bit more involved.
Yeah. I'll bring Cambiasso off for Ronnie Warwick, please. Can I have a little look at Ronnie Warwick?
Of course you can. There you go.
It's not bad. This is all right, yeah.
When in any Super League competition did you expect the defensive midfield line to be Ronnie Warwick and Stuart Parnaby?
See, I'm playing this cup in right spirit. This is what it should be about.
Let Mike Savage see some players.
Yeah. Zara should be banned from this. This is
You're suggesting that Nedved and Pizarro are cheat codes in the CMSL Cup?
Yeah. It's like when you under 11s and you play against somebody and like their centre forwards got a beard. Like, there is he.
You're coaching the
Obviously
under
a man.
7s team and the opposition striker is actually 12.
Yeah, that's how it feels like. Poor old Stuart Parnaby's fucking checking these boots out. He's like, you said they were going to play reserves. Like, well, yeah. Thought they would. Spirit of the game, and here we are. Dan just.
Well, there you go.
Me.
There you go. He's coming off now. He's had his hour. Diego Forlan's coming on instead.
No, but all sort of joking aside, if he wants to, he's Pizarro, get him sharpened up, get goals for him. It's a worthwhile run out for him, isn't it?
Dimble pointing out Vieira, Sorochinski to Woolwork and Barnaby. The CMO 102 Make-A-Wish Cup.
They sound like an ITV detective drama duo, don't they?
Barnaby.
Yeah, Warwick and Barnaby.
Well, let's see if they can work out how to unlock the Gazelles' defence. Changes made. Can Casuals make a game of this? Do you know what? It's been an entertaining first night of the CMSL Cup. I'm quite happy with night one. There's been plenty of goals.
Just none from my useless outfit.
But Casuals have not.
Did we have a shot? Did we have a shot, Steve?
We did.
Yeah. I think we were on top, really.
She's like, we had a shot, we had a shot, we had a shot. It wasn't a great night, but let's have a look at the players that you did select. Henningberg not quite excelling in the way you hoped. Lots of fives throughout the team as well. Ronnie Woolwork, however, let's put some respect on the name.
Yeah, Ronnie Woolwork looks all right. I'm quite impressed with that. It's a generous 8, definitely a generous 8, but his numbers don't look too bad.
Hamilton Ricard not really living up to the hype either that people wanted him to be freed.
Yeah, maybe then again, he played on his own.
He was up against, what was it, Kivu and Uliano, and then Gareth Barry came on as well.
Yeah, maybe he should have been up there on his own. Johnson played elsewhere, and yeah, but it's over with. Lessons learned. We'll move on to beating PPP in the next game.
Tim was saying Ayala must be the 6th best centre back on the game.
No, Ayala was above Berg anyway. If you'd been listening, Dimble.
So you mentioned Pizarro and Nedved were almost cheat codes in this competition by how you were taking it. Nedved 10 out of 10 rating, man of the match performance.
It feels like I'm back at Sloths tonight. Taking me back. It just feels like I'm back at Sloths, just outclassed.
Your team was just never going to compete with this team.
Yeah, just playing a better 11, and sort of every now and again you might get lucky and get a win, but more often than not, the better side wins, and that's what's happened tonight. Credit to Dan. Someone's going to have to win it, so have a go for it if that's what you want. Good performance, Nedved there. Be happy with that. Plenty of shots and assists and goals. A complete midfield performance is that. So, yeah, well done, mate.
Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight, Hodgy. There's confirmation. So in Group A, we've just seen Casuals lost 2-0 at home to Gazelles. In Group B, it was East Coast 2, Boostown Badgers 4. The result in Group C, Fulchester 2. At the death, it was Vikings 2. And that was the same scoreline in Group D between White Rose and Northern Burn. Thursday night, I believe Swanee is scheduled for comms as we go into game week 2 of the CMSL Cup, which despite some protestations, I'm very happy with how it's gone. 7 out of 8 teams scoring tonight. And of the teams that did score, nobody scored less than 2. We saw lots of new names, plenty for Mr. Savage to consider. I'll take 2 draws there, me, says Tater. Hodgy, thank you very much. We look forward to welcoming you back, hopefully in a few weeks when the league action returns.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Enjoyed myself, as I always do. So, and I'm having a laugh, but credit to you. It's something else you put on. It keeps interesting for teams who are maybe sort of thinking that the season's over. Just can't help it that my season's never fucking over.
Team news and packs should be out tomorrow night. If not, it'll be Tuesday because I'm off to the cinema after work So it'll be late tomorrow if it is. But thank you for everyone joining. You can go and watch I'm a Celebrity now. From me, from Hodgy, until Thursday night, and from Super League HQ. Good night.